Wow, Radiant Typhoon just continues to amaze me. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that next play button for the week so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. This has been a ride. This is actually going to be your last tournament breakdown that we're going to have on this old list here. And yes, we are actually seeing some interesting little results here. So, Yummy actually was one of your biggest representatives this week, and they actually had 39 players coming out for this, which is very, very interesting. I guess, you know, we're in the holiday season. More people actually want to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now, so that's actually pretty good. We also only had 5 Malice players playing this event, which is not terrible. In my opinion, I'm happy to see that number. Malice still remains one of the biggest challengers that the OCG meta faces. And then we have 3 Radiant Typhoon lists down here. That's going to be very, very interesting when we actually see the turnover here for that number. We also had 3 Draco Tail. We also had 3 Fallen of Albaz. I mean, it's pretty standard to see Albaz being this deck that's continued to bring up the rear here pretty steadily. We do have Mitsurugi with 3 representatives. We also had 3 Vanquish Soul. We also had 2 Mathmech, which I'm not surprised to see that. We also have an Exo Sister, it looks like Elven Notes, a Stellar and Friends. I don't recognize this one. It looks like Martha. The Dinosaur deck, of course. Looks like Memento, DDD, Valkyrion, Ray, and then only 1 Cool Tomb in this overall breakdown. But your most interesting things here are the fact that we do see your meta actually showing very, very nicely here through the cracks. I'm not too excited to see, you know, where we kind of go from here on the food chain, but I think it's fine. Now, your top 8. You're going to notice a couple of interesting things here. First of all, only 1 Yummy out of our entire dominant field for that deck got absolutely cratered in the conversion for this. Which it's not necessarily alarming to see that, but the point right now is, you know, Yummy is still a competitor, and it's still doing all right with that. We do have 2 Malice. Now, Malice has kind of been this very strong challenger. You know, they still have Splash Mage. A lot of people in the OCG want to see backup at Ignister actually get limited to 1 to actually check this deck, and if that's the case, it's very interesting. Now, we also have 2 Radiant Typhoon lists down here. Now, what's crazy about this is Radiant Typhoon got 1st and 3rd in this tournament, and I cannot stress to you how much Radiant Typhoon in this setting has just been wrecking next play. I don't know if there is something to this deck or what, but I'm continuing to report on this every week as we continue to see this deck just annihilating a lot of the competition. Now, you also do see we have Vanquish Soul down here. VS is still pretty much the same kind of boring deck it is. They have way less K9 than we do. We also have Exo Sister here, which Sisters have been doing pretty all right in this meta. And we also have Valkyrion. The problem with the Magnet Warrior deck is it's playing triple Earth Barrier Statue, which you'll see here in a couple minutes. But if you can actually hold down the fort with that much lockdown, then, I mean, you kind of deserve to win. Like, that's just kind of how it works. Like, sorry, not sorry to say that. So, definitely in for a treat. Now, let's pass on over to those deck lists. So our first list we're going to be looking at is, of course, the Radiant Typhoon list that ended up winning, and you are going to see, wow, a lot of interesting things here. But we are playing the Noble Knight Shield Bearer in here to be able to toggle into any of the power monsters that you're going to need for this, which is kind of interesting. Now, in terms of things, we're also playing the Fallen and the Virtuous in here, which I think is very strong, but also we are relying on Triple Crown and Triple Droplet. These particular cards are going to be very, very strong. Also, we are side decking the Duo which most of the time we have seen the duo being incorporated in the main deck and the side deck. So the fact that we are seeing this in the side deck and not the main deck now is crazy. But also, you do have the Harpy's Featherstorm. Yeah, the turn skip deck is actually doing its job. So I gotta tell you, man, it's a pain to see that the floodgate pressure from this deck is still going, but it's consistent. Now, your third place list, second place didn't want to share their list. Sorry, not sorry. We have the duo in the main deck, so that's fine. We do see once again the Fallen and the Virtuous doing its job. We're maximizing on triple of the new spell from the new set, which the first place list was only playing one of it. So you're shifting around here to 3 of that, which is interesting. You also do get to see that we are relying on the triple Featherstorm yet again in the side deck. I see, once again, you just side deck this. Like, there's no point in main decking. While it is incredibly powerful for what it is, it's one of those cards that's like, I can very much deal without this and be able to get my initial setup and kind of go for it. So I got to give them some credit, man. No matter how this deck continues to develop itself, no matter how much extra room you're looking at, you've got differences in builds now. You can definitely say, and I quote, Radiant Typhoon is looking very, very strong here. Next up here, we have, oh man, it's yummy. Well, I love the fact that, you stick your 2 monsters together, you get the mini Underworld Goddess. The mini Underworld Goddess actually converts you into a Wave King Kaiser now, because, Necro Quip, go to town, get the free revive stack up on that. It's honestly crazy just to see how powerful. One thing like this is actually kind of holding the deck together. I don't know, man. I find it pretty interesting that, Wave King Kaiser is such a practically needed card for this deck. To do well is actually kind of cool. I do see we have the triple copies of the Heat Wave down here. We do have the Illusion Gate holding on to itself, which is very, very good. Friggin' one of you can search for, which, I mean, this deck's not even playing Thrust, so you can't even search for it. It's just a one of if you see it. Next up is Malice. Oh, we do have a Malice list for you guys. And this Malice list, you do see, hey, we're playing the Math Mech package now. Oh boy, Circular, back at it again. I can't tell you how stressful it is to see Circular, being this card that does this thing, but this list is a little bit different than what we're used to seeing. You've got triple warning built into the main deck here, so this is going to be a scenario of we're going to be using good generic trap stuff to kind of help us out. We are playing one Chi-Chi in the deck along with the one Circular and the one extra Math Mech name just to be able to kind of get things going. You do see, yes, OCG does have Splash Mage. If they didn't have Splash Mage, I think that their list would be a lot different, but I think the correct call now, if you want to hit this deck's consistency, I can agree with it being the backup Ad Ignister here to be able to kind of hold itself together. So it's actually kind of expected. So honestly, I think all of this, what we've got going for this list is fine. Next up here, we have the Dinosaurs. Oh my gosh, the 60 card Ryuji piles are actually kind of cool. The fact that you've got the extra Foolish Burial Goods in here, you got the swords to be able to do its thing is actually kind of strong. The Dinosaur package is doing very, very nicely in this. Ryuji does have, wow, we're only playing one Varudris in here? Why would you... Does this deck have a problem, actually getting multiple Varudris out? Because, I feel like you want multiple Varudris usually in these decks to be able to get this thing. But this build has chosen to not play multiple of probably one of their best boss monsters. But they are also playing the Ritual Sanctuary in here. That's kind of a little interesting tech choice. I didn't think about that, actually. Ritual Sanctuary in the 60 card would technically turbo up some of the things that you could work with this deck. So, that's interesting. We've also got Magnet Warriors, and as I said, that's a lot of Earth Barrier statue. This deck is maximizing on this, and it is truly a creature of habit. You do get to see the one Block Dragon in here doing its job. I mean, this is why the TCG chose to ban the Earth Barrier statue, because we would be playing things like this in our Magna Warrior Turbo decks, and that would be massively fun. 3 of them things. 3 of them is so crazy to see. So what do you guys think about the breakdown for this event? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. It's definitely a week in the game of Yu-Gi-Mons. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.